Alright YouTube, buenos dias. Today we're going to talk about how to mangiare. Do you like chocolate? Do you like pizza? Do you like hot chorizo? Well, it's a bit of a trick question because if you answered no, then you're a liar. But I digress. I like those things too. However, sacrifices do have to be made to get lean, but you don't have to completely give up on junk food. The basic principle of losing weight is to eat less than your maintenance calories. Okay, what are those? Your maintenance calories, in very basic terms, are the amount of calories that your body needs for its daily expenditure of energy in an optimal way. So, if you eat less than your maintenance calories for an extended period of time, you're going to lose weight. And if you eat a surplus over your maintenance calories, se te va a salir la barriga. It's really that simple. The problem with this is that people who don't know how to properly manage their calories, especially when they're cutting, is that they go about, dieting and exercising the wrong way, which can really backfire and set you back months on progress that you've made or could be making, and why would anyone want to deal with that? So, first of all, let's just talk about the things that you should be avoiding. The number one most common mistake people make when trying to lose weight is starving themselves. And I do feel like almost anyone who has made a serious attempt at losing weight before has fallen into this category at some point or another, including yours truly. See, not all foods are equal, and what you put or don't put into your body really matters when you're trying to lose weight. As a matter of fact, I don't really like using the term losing weight too often anymore nowadays, because you can also lose weight as water weight, which is a desirable thing, but you can also lose weight in muscle, which is not a desirable thing. Now, an important fact that you should know is that 1 pound of fat is roughly 3,500 calories, okay? 3,500. So let us set an example for your maintenance calories, 2,300, okay? So, you're thinking to yourself, if my maintenance calories are 2,300 and my daily diet is 1 can of tuna, 1 banana, water, and I go for a run, I'm gonna look like Bruce Lee by next week. Hi-ya! If you were to eat like a baby bird and just do a lot of cardio, what's gonna happen is, yeah, you're gonna lose some fat, but you're gonna lose a lot of strength and muscle and kind of end up looking like a deflated testicle. It's happened to me before and it really sucks. What you need to do instead is figure out what your maintenance calories are and add a deficit of about 200 to 300 calories to that. And again, don't worry about it. I'm going to explain how to calculate your maintenance calories for the day in just a minute. Now I want you to follow me along here for a second. Let's make a new example. So, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, your hypothetical maintenance calories are 2,300, and I just mentioned that what you need to do to lose weight is to add a deficit to your maintenance. Cool. So let's add that deficit. Let's make it 300 calories. So your new calorie goal for the day so that you can lose weight is going to be 2,000 calories. Cool. That's fine. That's simple. Easy number to track. If you eat 2,000 calories every single day for about the next month or month and a half, you're going to lose weight. And you're probably thinking, hold on, why only a month or a month and a half? Because your body will eventually adapt to that deficit, and that deficit will slowly over time become your new maintenance. And losing weight is not going to be it's not going to be that efficient at that number anymore. So what do I do? What do I do? Am I screwed? No. You do the exact same thing. You reintroduce a new deficit. So let's make it a less dramatic example, say 200. Cool. Make your new goal for the day 1,800 calories, and you can keep cutting for the next month or month and a half. I want to circle back to my example about eating a can of tuna and drinking water, because you've now got some basic knowledge on how and why to create a calorie deficit. So you're not only running the risk of looking like a malnourished wallaby if you only do that, if you undereat, But more importantly, you're gonna have no energy. You're gonna feel like ass all day long. More importantly, you're creating a calorie deficit that's so absurdly low that you're gonna leave no more room for your body to take out any more calories. Therefore, you're going to hit this brick wall where you're going to be fatigued, you're going to feel terrible, you're going to look terrible, and you're just not going to be able to lose weight efficiently anymore after a month or two. All this talk about maintenance calories, but you still don't know how to find your maintenance calories. The thing about it is, it's super easy. There's an infinite number of maintenance calorie calculators on the internet, but I've left a link to 2 of my favorite ones in the description below. The way these work is, there's a couple of questions you have to answer, simple ones like age, weight, height, gender, and about how much exercise a week you do. Both of these sites are gonna have some little checkboxes you can click for that. That's it. Honestly, what I like to do is use 3 or 4 calculators, plug in my numbers, see what they give me, and then average those ones out. But either of the ones that I've provided should work fine. What's also cool about these calculators is that they're going to give you a calorie count to create a fat loss deficit. Though some of these vary, although they don't vary too much from calculator to calculator, a safe number is, like I've mentioned before, 200 or 300 calories. If you don't exercise much or at all, then your deficit could be something as high as 400 or 500. But even if you work out for an hour, say 3, 4, or 5 times a week, your deficit should probably be at around 300 calories. That's a safe number to play with. Alright, cool. So, now we can really get into la carne y las papas of today's subject. Diet, nutrition. However, before some insufferable moron with no friends comes and takes a dump on my parade, I should give a full disclaimer that I am not a dietitian. I've never done dietitian training. I've never, I don't have a diploma. I don't have a certificate. But the topics that I've covered and will cover on this channel, namely diet, are what has given me the results that you see on my Instagram and also on some of the videos of me working out on this channel. So, consult with your doctor and all of that stuff. The real goal here is to know what foods to eat and what quantities to eat them in. It's also just as important to know what foods not to eat and what foods to eat en cantidades un poco más pequeñas. Protein is going to be the number 1 most important part of your diet. Carbs are going to be secondary, and fats are going to be tertiary. So let's make a list of the most readily available and healthy foods you can get by their categories. Okay, starting off with protein, we've got chicken, beef, fish, turkey, ass, eggs, Greek yogurt. I love Greek yogurt. If you couldn't tell, I love Greek yogurt. And protein powder. Para los carbohidratos tenemos rice, chickpeas, lentils, quinoa, beans, ass, oatmeal, and bread. I know I didn't mention fruits or veggies because I've got a pretty simple rule for both of those. Eat 1 fruit of your choice a day and eat as many veggies as you want. Within reason, right? Like don't go around eating 25 carrots. You'll never poop again. Okay, now some quick and useful tips about this diet and the foods that I've talked about. Starting with your diet. You want to make it 5 parts. 5 parts what? 3 parts protein, 2 parts carbs, 1 part fat. That is the golden ratio. That's how you make a healthy ratio of macronutrients that you want to get from your food. It's time to talk about junk food. Things that you shouldn't be eating or should be eating small quantities of. But let's start talking about liquid calories. I'm talking milk, beer, pop, and energy drinks. You need to ditch those ASAP. A can of pop, for example, is gonna run you somewhere between 120 to 180 calories, and it's gonna zap you with enough sugar to fill a piñata. So, if you want to have pop once or twice a week, you should be okay, but as a general rule of thumb, you should just have water instead. And remember, the issue with pop is it's not just the issue of calories, but pop and tooth cavities are intimate lovers. Milk is great. When I was a kid, I'd have ice cold milk instead of water. I love it, and most people do too. I mean, remember those ads from the mid to late 90s that would have Will Smith or Shaq or any Hollywood actor slash famous athlete saying,
"Got milk?"
Well, that was all propaganda. See, milk, if you're a little kid and you have milk, it'll still be good for you to some degree. But as a grown adult, or hell, even as a teenager, your body does not really need it at all. Needless to say, milk is full of calories and it's full of fat. Unless you're drinking skim milk, but at that point, you might as well just be drinking your own pee. So what I like to do is I like to add a splash or two of my pee, milk, into my oatmeal or into my protein powder. That way I don't have to fully sacrifice it, but it's also not like I'm chugging 3 glasses of it a day. I am frankly not too familiar with energy drinks because I don't really like the way they taste, except for Red Bull. But even then, I am not illiterate and I can read the backs of those cans. They're usually packed in carbs, packed in sodium, packed in sugar, and don't really contain any of the nutrients that your body wants or needs. So, like with pop, like with milk, try to keep it to 1 or 2 a week and I think you should be fine. But you know what? Honestly, at least in my experience, I don't know anyone who just likes energy drinks. They're either on one end of the spectrum or on the other one. They either don't like it and never have it, or they're drinking like 1 or 2 a day. Don't know why. If it's energy you're after, just drink coffee. I don't think it's news to anyone that drinking too much cerveza is not good for your health. But look, if it were up to me, I would drink 2 tall cans of beer every single day of my life. And you know what? Maybe when I'm 70, 80, if I make it to 90, I will do that. But as for now, I kind of have to stick with 1 beer a week, 2 beers a week during summer. I want to mention one last thing about beer. I get why it's difficult to just do away with it, but you have to. And I find that a lot of people have a lot of trouble giving up on alcohol. But you know what? You gotta hold that shit. There's nothing you can do about it. There is no magical, like, alternative 0-calorie beer or anything out there. Don't know what to tell you. If you want to lose weight, but you're having like 4, 5, or 6 beers, like on a weekly basis, your results are definitely going to be hindered by that. When I did my first serious cut many years ago, I found it incredibly hard to take things out of my diet such as small chocolate bars or potato chips, and I would do dumb things such as adding way too much honey into my oatmeal. The thing is, even though over the years I've gotten way better at managing my cravings, it never got easy. It gets easier, it gets much easier, but it never gets easy. You sort of learn how to, you could say, zen out of your hunger. Or, you know what, more accurately, you kind of learn how to zen into your hunger. You sort of become one with it. It's hard to explain, you probably don't get it now, you'll eventually get it. Another quick fact about junk food. So, you know those small candy bars that you can get anywhere? It's like the ones you usually get when you're stoned and hungry at 10 at night. Yeah, so those ones start at 160 calories and they go all the way up to 250. You know what else is 250 calories? 3 eggs, packed in protein, packed in vitamins. Now, you know the bigger candy bars, the ones that are usually like 500 to 600 grams in size? Usually find them in candy aisles. Yeah, so those ones start at 1,000 calories. They can go all the way up to 1,800. That is more than half of an average adult's maintenance calories for the day. Think about that. Y ya está, papá. Acabamos. That's about all that I've got for today. I will go more into detail about junk food on an upcoming video about planning cheat meals, because do remember that I've mentioned I still eat junk food, but in small controlled quantities. As a staple though, you want to try to keep junk food to a minimum, and if you can, just forget about it for as long as possible. Colorín colorado, este cuento se ha acabado. Buenas noches. You might as well just be drinking your own pee.